Welcome to Center Stage at the Phocuswright Conference. Please welcome the Managing Director of Phocuswright, Pete Comeau, and the Senior Vice President of Research and Product Strategy at Phocuswright, Charuta Fadnis.
Welcome to the Phocuswright Conference. What a year it's been since we last saw a few of you in South Florida last year. At that point, international markets had just opened up, and Omicron wasn't even a thing yet. Reflecting back on the last year, we navigated another challenging winter, but springtime brought great hope. And then came the summer and the unleashing of massive pent-up travel demand. Travel companies across the board have reported record earnings despite some operational challenges, which a few of you felt coming in here to Phoenix. I am thrilled to welcome over 1,200 of you here physically on site in Phoenix, with many, many more joining us virtually. Yesterday, we hosted 70 companies in our startup program and 35 rising young stars of our industry in the Young Leaders Summit. 22 of you have spent the last 7 weeks in the inaugural cohort of our Travel Tech Executive Fellowship Program, and 44 of you have helped us build a strong community of travel tech leaders, which we launched early days of the pandemic. Nearly half of you come from the C-suite, and nearly 2/3 are VP level or above. And nearly 30% of you have traveled here to Phoenix from outside of the US, from over 40 different countries. We are proud to host a truly global event. We are also proud to announce that the Phocuswright Conference is once again carbon neutral. Part of our responsibility as travel leaders is ensuring that the amazing travel destinations that we dream of visiting are around for our children and their children to enjoy. And the entire Phocuswright team is passionate about sustainability as well. And speaking of the Phocuswright team, should you need anything while you're here over the course of the next 2 to 3 days, please don't hesitate to approach any of us. If we don't have the answer, we will definitely find somebody that can get you the answer. And that's our pledge. So on with the show. It's my pleasure to introduce our Senior Vice President of Research and Product Strategy, Charuta Fadnis, who will frame an incredible 2 days of upcoming content. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Pete, and good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Phocuswright Conference. Now, I read somewhere that travel and hospitality are happiness industries. And it struck me as such an apt description, right? Whatever our reasons for traveling might be, the experience of going to places, meeting people, that's usually one that makes us all feel really good. And we saw that when millions of travelers ventured out, going, visiting family, visiting friends, exploring new destinations, generally just getting out and about. I have to say, though, these days, when you're booking a flight or even a hotel room, that's a surefire way to get sticker shock. And even during the trip, you're wondering, is it all going to be smooth sailing? It's kind of a crapshoot, right? Labor shortages abound, whether it's at the airport, the hotel, through the trip. And yet, those who want to travel continue to travel. Demand remains really strong. Apparently, there's no such thing as shoulder season anymore. More than 2/3 of Americans took a leisure trip this year. That was up from 54% last year, and really close to the 71% that we saw in 2019. Generationally, we're back to where we used to be before the pandemic. So older travelers are starting to take to the roads and the skies again. And travelers are spending more. So we see that air and hotel revenues, they're poised to beat 2019. That's 2 years ahead of where most of us expected it to be. And there are few signs of any let-up in spend, even though inflation, rising costs, they're all eating into household budgets. the trade-offs that consumers are making are all in favor of travel. But does that mean that travelers are returning to their old ways and their behaviors pre-pandemic? That's a no, definitely not. Just as travel is evolving, so are travelers. And today's traveler is very conscious of their environmental footprint. 40% of travelers say that they'll actively seek out sustainable options for travel in the future. We all know travel isn't going to disappear. Experiencing new destinations and cultures is still highly desired. But when 55% of travelers under 35 say that they'll look for suppliers for in-destination activities that won't pollute or deplete natural resources, that's yet another call to action. Not that we need one more. So the question is, are the titans of the industry prepared to respond to these changing traveler behaviors and preferences? Or will someone new emerge to lead the way? Generational differences are starting to become more evident. Take social media. Again, those under 35 travelers, especially in the US, they use social media extensively, especially at the top of the funnel. Or we can talk about digital nomads. 70% of younger travelers have taken a trip where they worked remotely. Close to half of those who've taken a business trip blended it with some leisure time. And what about booking channels? There haven't been that many seismic shifts in online booking behavior in the last few years. But channel behavior tends to be sticky. And so we saw that in the last couple of years, there was a shift to online, and that stuck around. After hovering in the 40% range for quite some time, the percentage of US travelers who booked their trips, every element of their trip, online, climbed by 20 percentage points to 63%. That's huge. And even that last frontier of offline bookings, the tours, activities, experiences, attraction space, that's rapidly digitizing. In fact, OTAs are projected to be the fastest growing channel for that segment, growing at a CAGR of 61% over the next 5 years. So there's all this behavioral change that's taking place. Add to that technology-powered products, fintech, insurtech, those have surged in consumer awareness. And in a sign of perhaps our times, 4 out of 5 US travelers say that they're aware of these options. Nearly half are open to paying to protect their trips. Now, all this change isn't going unnoticed. Amidst the stellar financial results, the mostly rosy projections that we've seen from the titans of our industry, the focus still is very much on the traveler. Whether it's the large OTAs, the metas, the suppliers, whether it's in terms of their technology, their product, the service they offer, traveler centricity is the talk of the town. Now, it's not that they've suddenly discovered travelers, right? It's because they know that if today's savvy travelers don't get what they want, they are going to kick up a fuss, thanks to social media, but they're also going to move on and just go to whatever tools, platforms, providers are actually going to fulfill their wants, their asks, not just needs, their wants. They also know that there are a lot of young, hip, hungry companies out there that are just waiting to eat their lunch. And these trailblazers who are waiting in the wings ready to swoop in. It wasn't so long ago that those that we call titans today were trailblazers themselves. The democratization of technology is creating opportunities that would have been out of reach for startups and scale-ups just a few years ago. Look at Phocuswire's list of the hot 25 travel startups for 2023 that we're publishing today. These are some of the best examples of companies that are agile, that are going to keep the titans on their toes, and that are pushing the travel industry forward. Resting on one's laurels never bodes well for any company that's looking to thrive, nor any industry, especially when the world itself is changing. So, join us for some fantastic sessions over the next 2 days, and stay till the close tomorrow evening for a surprise as we weave the magic of technology with our theme. Travelers, Titans, Trailblazers, and the interplay between them in this industry that we all love. Welcome to Center Stage at Phocuswright.